uh, to make their food, and heterotrophs use cellular respiration to consume food.
Okay? Okay, good. Kaya nag-autotrophs o heterotrophs tayo mo hang term. But I'm asking, wala ako na-satisfied sa answer ni Castañares. How photosynthesis and cellular respiration complementing one another? How come we cannot exist without plants and plants need some of what we're giving off, right? In exchange to make the photosynthesis. Anyone can satisfy me with the answer of that one. Be? I will not proceed because we are supposed to understand that one. Metabolic pathway interconnection of photosynthesis and cellular respiration. If why mo answer nga sakto, be anyone? Magabilin, save your classmates. Yes.
What's that question, ma'am?
I will not repeat the question. Asa day ka ganina? Ganina na ko sige kuan.
Di ba galibog ako, ma'am? Kaya akong answer kay similar sa kang Castañares.
Yeah, I know that the autotrophs is doing photosynthesis. And we living animals are doing cellular respiration. But how are they related with one another? That's my question. That's what I want to know.
Energy flow, ma'am.
The energy flow. Okay? Sige. Can you please explain?
Through photosynthesis, plants or autotrophs make their own energy and food, while heterotrophs, through cellular respiration, are able to take in that energy and consume that energy.
Okay, wala paghihapon siya class na relate. Yeah, I know, that's true. That's true. Your answer is true, but ano related sila ang metabolic pathway ba? Kisa ni nag-raise og hand, di ni nako makita lagi. Who's raising the hand? Nay nag-raise og hand. Si Edelweiss Canizares? Yes, please.
We consume what the ma'am, what the autotrophs give out when they go through the process of photosynthesis, since we are heterotrophs.
We consume, you mean the glucose that they're making?
I know that what they give, what they you know, what they kanang tawagan nimo, like ilang i-give out,
Product, the product
which is which is
and
oxygen.
Okay.
And also the carbon dioxide that we exhale is used for their photosynthesis.
Very good. Okay. Yang may malagi kayo mong mga answer sa inyong ise. And when I'm going to ask you, gi-google na da ito di ay. You know, class, remember, when you are asked that one, it's so easy to answer basing on the chemical equation. Makita ninyo, di ba? Hinek, di ko masagot ani. The product of photosynthesis is being used as raw material in cellular respiration. The product in cellular respiration is being used in photosynthesis. The only differ in the manner of transformation of energy. Which one is exergonic? Photo or cellular respiration?
Cellular, ma'am.
Okay, endergonic is the?
Synthesis.
Okay, unsa gi-absorb sa photosynthesis nga endergonic man siya?
Kuan, ma'am. Energy, ma'am. Light energy.
Okay, the light energy, the photons. What is being given off as energy in the cellular respiration? Clinic. Wake up. Stop doing other things, be. You cannot even answer that one, and I devoted 1 hour for that, for you to understand that connectivity, and you cannot answer those things. Hugabang.
Carbon dioxide, ma'am.
Given off as energy in the cellular respiration. That's carbon dioxide is byproduct. Energy man, exergonic man ta. Sa cellular respiration, what is being converted as energy now in the cellular respiration?
Oxygen.
Energy class.
ATP, ma'am.
ATP. Asa mo sa discussion last time? Nakan? Okay. There you go. Again, balik ko. Balik. How are they connected? Ha? Balik ko nyo na nako kay kailangan na ninyo masabtan. In town, Ginoo ko. Okay? Photosynthesis uses unsa gigamit? Light, water, unsa pa? Basic biology.
Carbon dioxide.
Dioxide, ma'am.
Yes. CO2, chemical equation, di ba? Gipa-practice na tamudaan sa chemical equation of writing. Ana, okay? Kay mo proceed na ta class in understanding sa ATP. Okay? This session is about, you have to understand, focus na lang mo sa slide nga katong na ay chemical equation sa photosynthesis o chemical equation sa cellular respiration, and take a look how are they complementing one another and the giving of and the absorbing of energy. Focus on that one. All right? And I'll proceed now. Okay. So, what we're going to understand this morning, if we are going to go to do the Moodle, let's go to the Moodle. You are now in session 2, cell energy currency, ATP. All right? Now, we are in this learning targets. Today, we're going to ila-ilaho na to sa ATP, how it works, what are the chemical structure, and what is hydrolysis no, in the ATP-ADP cycle. Now, I have this introduction YouTube nga kwan. I'm not going to play this today, but I want you to check on this. No, this is very comprehensively explained. This will reinforce your understanding about our topic, how ATP is being used, no, in the cellular respiration. Okay, so watch this at your own time. Okay, I will proceed now to the lecture proper, the PowerPoint. Okay, balik ko here. Okay. So this is, we will talk about ATP, the cell energy currency. Mo ni ato ang focus karong adlaw. So have you ever wondered, okay, Mr. Tumakin, nganong kinahanglan man jud ka mo ginhawa? You take my breath away kung makakita ka ni Balbana. What happens when you stop breathing?
Mamatay, ma'am.
Mamatay. Ngano mamatay man ka? Kung
Kaya
stop
itong lawas kailangan oxygen, ma'am. Without oxygen, ma'am, dili mabuhi ang organ sa itong lawas nga mo magpagana na itong liho.
Okay, very good, no? How fatal it is kung pila lang ka seconds mawagtangan ta og gininhawa. That is why in the COVID patients, the saturated oxygen is constantly monitored. If it goes lower than 95, rush to the hospital because that's how oxygen is very important in our body. All the cells in our body, the trillions of cells is using oxygen to do cellular respiration, to have that ATP. So that is why it's very fatal kung simba ko, mawagtangan ta og oxygen. Okay? Kanang mga malumos, then pila na ka-minutes dito, kuwang di na jud na, dead on arrival na jud na. Okay? Now, unsa di si ATP? What does it mean? The meaning, no, is adenosine triphosphate. ATP is the source of cellular energy. Okay? Pananglitan. The same thing rin na siya class nga kinahanglan i-convert. Say for example, na kay kwarta nga dollar pinadala sa imuhang mama. Okay? Nga naa sa States. Magamit ba na nimo ang dollar diri sa Pilipinas? Dili, di ba? Moadto pa ka og converter sa currency para mahimong peso. The same thing with when we are eating. Okay? Magkaon ta pamahaw. Okay? Namahaw si Flores karon og cereal. Okay? Unsaon man na pag kanang energy nga naa sa cereal nga iyang ipamahaw, unsaon man na para magamit sa imong cell. So mo na natay metabolism, natay metabolic pathway. We call that cellular respiration. So kinahanglan na i-convert sa ato ang cell, sa atong mitochondria para magamit nato. Kay ang tan-awon ra nga chemical structure sa atong cell nga dawaton niya is ATP. Kung naay lain nga molecule dira nga, uy, kwarta man ko, kanang pwede man kunin mo magamit as energy para makalakaw ka, makadagan ka, ay dili kinahanglan sa na nimo iadtong conversion, ipa ATP sa na para magamit nimo para dagan. Ingon ana siya para makadaog kas marathon, no? Ingon ana na siya kinahanglan i-convert, and we need to be in the form of ATP. Now, what's the gamit ni ATP? Diba? In the first session, I asked you, why do we need energy? Okay, why do we need energy? Of course, we need energy for so many reasons. No, just a simple doing the things that we want to do, breathing, the basic body processes needs energy. Okay, and that is specifically the energy on the form of ATP. What is it being used for? First, we have chemical work. Also, pasabot ang chemical work, di ba? Our cells, even in the cytoplasm, is the center of chemical processes. There is an ending making of DNA, an ending cellular division. No, we need that. We need ATP for that. In the transport work, katong-atong topic nga baguhay lang nahuman, cellular transportation, the pumping of substances across the membrane para lang makalabang. So, katong active transport, di ba? Because that is against the concentration gradient. Kinahanglan energy para makalabang diri sa atuang protein pumps. Kadtong phagocytosis, endocytosis, pinocytosis, receptor mediated. We need that. Especially also in the mechanical work. Di ba? I asked you which organ has the highest number of mitochondria? It is the muscle cells and the neurons, no? So, we need that to function properly. Kaya itong masus gasigi o beating sa heart, kung makakita ta sa crush, magpalpitate, susamot na kadaghan nga mitochondria nga magsigigor para mahimo og ATP. Kung magsigi pag ka hunahuna sa imong crush, di ka katulog, samot gutumon, kay gasigi hunahuna sa crush. Grabe ang use of ATP. So yung nga na siya class, we need that for mechanical work. Next, we need in the making of RNA. Every time there is a cellular division, mag-unzip si DNA, making of RNA, we need that, no? Especially kung daghan kag samad, dili samad sa kasing-kasing but physical nga samad, so kinahanglan i-heal. Oh, daghan na sad kay nagkailangan og ATP. Do you get my point? Clinic? Are you with me?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
kagets ra ha. Na mo na gamit ni ATP, no? Timan ina. Now, we go to the structure. Unsa day ang structure ni ATP? Remember, na adenine, na ribose sugar, na phosphate group. Tanawa, unsa na si adenine? This is the nitrogenous base. So tanaw ninyo ang inyong clue basta na N mo ni diri ang nitrogenous base. Kanang murag piatos og forma mo na ribose. Ribose is a sugar. Okay? So carbohydrate na ang sugar, di ba? And then we have 3 circles, then that is the 3 phosphate groups. Okay, that is the 3 phosphate groups. So, into a simpler structure, this is how it looks like. Adenine, ribose, phosphate groups. Right? So, tulo ka phosphate group mo ng triphosphate. Kay tulo man ang iyang phosphate group. Okay, so, unsa day ni, giunsa day pag-form? How is being energy stored, no? Asa nagtago si energy sa ATP? So makita ninyo nga sa chemical structure na itulo, di ba? So the lot of energy is embedded or hiding or here is waiting to be released na diri sa terminal nga phosphate to phosphate nga bond. So magka-duol ni ribose, magkagamay ang energy. Sa magkalayo ni ribose, grabe ang energy. Okay? And this will happen over and over again. So, makita ninyo nga pinakilat, no? Kilat, sige na lightning, no? Lightning na kuan ang unsa ni bond nire kay naa man ni siya energy dire. All right? So, by the time ma-release ang terminal N, okay, by the time ma-release ang terminal N, Ella, quiet po. You go to Ate Manika. By the time i-release ang usa ka phosphate, meaning na ay na-release nga energy. Kung mabuwag na ni sila ba? Okay? 'Di ba? Mag-uyab kung mabuwag ng magkabuwag mo, ay, I'm free and I'm free to mingle. So daghan kay kag energy maglaag. Anyway, mahimo na gani ng duha na lang mo ng diphosphate. Okay, di is duha. so mahimong diphosphate. In that process of releasing na ay nagkabuwag na ay energy nga na release. Okay? So mauna basta ang ATP mahimong ADP na ay na-release nga energy. Unsa nga process, unsa nga chemical process ang pag-release ana nga phosphate. Okay? We call that hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is the entry of water. Okay? Entry of water, meaning addition of water. So this really makes sense why we constantly need water in our body, because the cellular respiration itself cannot happen without water. Okay? So, mo na nga, mamatay ta. How many days can you last without drinking water? Okay? How many days? Up to what? Up to how many days? Anyone?
Was it 1 week, ma'am?
1 week ba? Wow!
3 days, ma'am.
3 days. Diba?
Oh, unsa to ba? Oh, question.
How many days can we last without drinking water ba?
1.
1 ra ba? Grabe sa 1. 3 days actually class. No? 3 days. So, ngano man? Nganong makalast magkagkaon wa kay kaon for 15 days, 10 to 15 days or more before ka mag-hallucination, mag-weak na, no? Okay ra na. Pero kung tubig na gani istoryahan, class, 3 days na dyan na ang maximum. But I'm so surprised lagi nga naagi nag-mention nga kung ma-shipwreck, ma-stranded siya sa island mo, inom siya og salt water. Ayaw na ninyong buhata. Napa dyan nag-answer, ana, disturb ko, ana. Okay, correct that. Again, nga naman, there are so many chemical processes that will not happen if there is no water. Remember, we are 70% water, no? And there is a big purpose how, because chemical processes specifically about cellular respiration. We cannot release energy if there is no water. Okay, the ATP will not become ADP if there is no water, and that is again hydrolysis. And in that releasing of one phosphate, meaning na ay giving off of energy. Every time the ATP will become ADP, na ay energy nga na-release. Okay? Asa na, basta ma-terminal band gani ang matangtang, dako na nga energy or high energy ang na-release. And what will happen to the phosphate? It will now become inorganic phosphate. Meaning, spendable na siya. Kinahanglan na siya ilisan og another organic phosphate. Alright? So, this is very important to know. Unsa ang nakalahi sa ADP o ATP, and how is this related to energy? Okay? Next. When we say, again, when the ADP mahimong ATP, meaning, di ba, naanay gistore nga energy. Okay? When the ATP mahimong ADP, naay gi-release nga energy. Okay? In the storing, hydrolysis to plus the help of katong sa releasing bitaw nga ang triphosphate mahimong diphosphate na atoy phosphate ang inorganic phosphate na, and then naka-release na og energy. And unsay lain nga enzyme nga ni help with that one aside sa hydrolysis nga chemical process, ang nagtabang adto is ang ATP synthase. Okay? Dayon kinahanglan ilisan na dayon ang ADP dapat mahimong ATP na balik. So, nag-store na sad siya og energy. So, I will explain this further in a graph. Okay? Kani siya explainin ako further in a graph. And then, naailain class nga kinahanglan ninyo kanang ibutang sa inyong utok. Okay? Unsa man ang NADH and PADH2? Class, these are enzymes. Nga na ning kailangan ninyo, kay mugawas di siya sa atong stages later sa cellular respiration nga stages. Okay, i-absorb na lang ninyo daan, i-screenshot na ninyo daan ninyo nga slide. Kaya nga naman, by the time you see, when we discuss stages of cellular respiration, ma-encounter ni nato si NADH o si FAD+. Okay, si NAD+, okay, kung mahimo guys siyang NADH, meaning, nagkarga siya og electron, meaning electron carrier na siya. Okay? Nga nang kinahanglan ninyo, importante ninyong kung anong kay ang NADH man ang mo proceed to another stage later. Kay ang cellular respiration plus tulo na siya ka stages nga sunod-sunod. So, basta gani ang mugawas na ning enzyme nga NAD+ niya nahimo na siyang NADH, meaning ana electron carrier na siya. Nagdala siya electron. So muna mo proceed to another stage. Timan nilang nidaan. And then si FAD+, mahimo na gani na siyang FADH2, meaning nagdala pod na siya og electron, and then maunay mo proceed to another stage kay gamit kayo ng electron nga iyahang dalhon. Okay? How do we picture out this one? Okay? Again, si NAD+ na himong NADH, di ba? Kay nag-carry siya og electron carrier. And then si FAD+ mahimong FADH2 kay nag-carry po siya og electron carrier. So sila mo proceed to the next stage. Asa man na nila i-empty? Asa na nila i-unload? Asa na nila iyabo ang ilahang gipang carry nga mga electrons? Ari sa mitochondria. Okay, this is mitochondria. This is outer membrane, inner membrane, intermembrane space, and this is the matrix katong inner sa inner membrane, and then sulod ni siya dire. Okay. Again, balik ko. Si NAD+ na himong NADH, nagdag electron. Si FAD+ na himong FADH2, nagdalag electron. Asa nila i-unload? Ari diri sa intermembrane space sa mitochondria. Class, do you follow?
Ma'am, unsay difference kuan sa FAD-H2 ug NAD-H
Okay.
if magkapon
Ani?
sila kuan ana?
They're exactly different from one another. They are enzymes. Okay? Naana ni nato daan sa atuang cells. Okay? That has a very important role in the cellular respiration. So, asa man na sila gikan? Nanana siya daan. Okay? Nanana daan sa atuang cells. Okay? Nga mo participate later sa atuang cellular respiration nga process. So, munang in place na ni siya daan. So muna ibutang na lang sa ninyo sa iyong utok nga makakita na mo sa akong discussion later ug na ang role ni NADH ug FADH2. Basta ang NAD+ na himo na NADH2 nagdala nag-carry nakatrap na og electron. Basta si FAD+ na himong FADH2 nakatrap na og electron. Nagdala na sila og electron. Sila mo proceed to another stage. So meaning mo nagsakay na ang mga electron, sila gikargahan ba nya ilang i-unload. Asa nila ibutang? Ari diri sa intermembrane space sa mitochondria. So ang question niko nga unsa nakalahi, lahi gyud siya from one another. They are both enzyme. Okay? Na present na daan sa atuang cell, and they are electron carriers.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Si tumaking ma'am. Another question, kasi nagtuon di ani nga tanan ma'am. Like yun sa niya pagkibaw nga mao gini tabo sa enzymes.
Okay.
So
Right. That is
it
a very
was
good
very
question.
detailed. Yeah.
Ano man, nangingon ka, sa muka ni Niloy, sa lisod-lisod sa
Sigo,
life.
wonder lang ko ba, like, yun sa mga pagtuon, ginani kagamay nga butang, like,
Okay.
sa pagkibaw nga ang electrons na gi-transfer na niya pa sa mitochondria.
Actually, class, the journey of this, okay, the journey of knowing these chemical processes is not over time, ha? The same thing with our cell theory, bitaw. Nga, iba, it took around 400 years to come up with those foundations of biology. The same thing here in biochemistry, okay? Bioenergetics man siya, no? Kung kinsa specifically, there are scientists that are working together. Okay, I cannot pinpoint the name right now because I am more familiar with the photosynthesis. Kaya ang sa photosynthesis nga stages nga mga scientist manggod nga grabe kayo ang issue sa photosynthesis nga mga nag-discover sa kay nga naman ang nag-away manggod ang duha ka scientist, and then nag-compete sila sa credit bitaw for Nobel Prize. But kaning sa cellular respiration, wala ko kahibaw pa sa history. That is a good question because maybe I can find it out later and then I will share it to you. But what I know of that has a big issue is ang photosynthesis. Kay si Krebs man niya, the same thing sa nahitabo ni Virchow bitaw nga, di ba, niingon siya nga siya ang cells exist from pre-existing cells niya, dako dili dito iyang work. So in the science field pod naa pa ingon ana no nga mag-iyahay og grab sa credit no? Even if they work together before and then mag-away, getting the credit kanang naa sa ingon ana nga issue. So kana nga question nimo kung kinsang mga tawhana, I have to research kung kinsa specific na mga scientist ang naamo ko kuan before, pero dili ko ka name recall ba na ako ana nga slide kinsa to nga mga scientist, no? But I know for sure sa photosynthesis gubot kaayo ang sa Krebs cycle nga part kung kinsa ang naka-credit kay nag-away ang duha ka scientist ba niya, nag Nobel Prize ang isa. So kana siya na issue nga mga ingon ana. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Nag-question ako, ma'am, ay ayaw to say apil butang test, ma'am.
Dili ra oy, wala, it's a good thing you have those kind of questions because kanang you are looking into the history magud, and some people don't appreciate history because they think nga oh it's just a date and it's just a happened before, no? But you know what, class, history is the foundation of what we are today because what are the behavior of before has a great influence to how we are today, just like our influences of our families pa. And ako mismo, ganahan ko mag-look into the history of these things po. And that's why ganahan ko makabuk inside nagka-award. Ano yan? Yeah, that is a good one. That is a good question, actually, tumakin. Okay? Now, let's proceed. So, kani siya ha, timan ninyo, i-unload sa intermembrane space. Then, nag-mention ko ninyo nga ATP synthase, katong mo help sa conversion of ADP na mahimong ATP. Ang ATP synthase class, protein pump ni siya. Okay? Katong mga balik mo sa cellular transport, protein pump nga agianan later sa high kaning mga electrons nga hydrogen electrons. So naa na siya diri sa inner membrane. Again, gi-unload sa intermembrane space. Okay? Kasabot mo ani katong FADH2, NADH2 o katong ATP ADP. Kay mo expound ko sa ATP-ADP cycle. Okay. Okay. Makita ninyo here ang ATP-ADP cycle. Diba, remember, ang ATP mahimong ADP, ang ADP mahimong balik to ATP. Whenever the ATP mahimong ADP, mahimong diphosphate, when the triphosphate mahimong diphosphate, pasabot ana niya ang terminal bond nga phosphate na release, diba? And that means nga naay energy is being sent to the cell. When the diphosphate will be back into triphosphate, kay nahimo naman tong inorganic phosphate ang usa ka phosphate nga na buwag, no? So kinahanglan ka mukaon na sad para ma-replace ang diphosphate mahimong triphosphate. So meaning naanay storing of energy kay napun-an naman sad ang nakuwangan, na-replacean naman, di ba? Remember, in the law of energy, every time you do a conversion, there will always be something that is being spent. Mura ra gud naa kay gipanguyaban, mugasto ba jud ka usahay, di ba? Sa imong gipanguyaban. So naa jud kay investment, sort of investment, or not investment in money, but maybe investment of your emotion. Ay, daghang na igo ato dapita. Anyway, okay, balik ko. ATP-ADP cycle. Hydrolysis, introduction of water para mabuwag si phosphate sa terminal bond. Then naay heat nga na-release. Okay, that released energy is for the cellular work. It can be for chemical work, mechanical work, transport work, making of RNA. And that diphosphate should become again an ATP. This is a never-ending cycle, class. All the trillions of our cells is doing this. All right? The trillions of cells is doing this every time, simultaneously. Tanan, especially our heart muscles. Kung pananglitan nagpalpitate ka, kakita ka sa imong crush or nakita nimong nag-cheat, no, grabe ang imuhang demand for ATP-ADP cycle dihang dapita. Alright, so make sure nga naa kay kaon pagkita nimo sa imuhang na find out na nimo kay makuyapan jud kana kay nahurot ang ATP nimo gigamit. Alright. So, tanawa ha, man ini niya ninyo. Okay? And any questions about that one? About this? Basta hydrolysis, mahimong ang ATP mahimong diphosphate, then phosphorylation kay nagpuno ka og phosphate sa diphosphate. We call that, so every time conversion, class, releasing, storing, there will always be a releasing of heat because we know already we're warm-blooded, we are maintaining a body temperature, okay? And that should be a ideal homeostasis in our cells, in our body, if we can maintain this one. All right? So imagine, oh, adult human turnover, 75 to 150 kJ ATP per day. So imagine mo, ana, unsa ang high demand, no? Pila ka kilogram ang atuang kilogram of ATP nga kailangan every day. Because if ATP could not be regenerated by phosphorylation of ATP, humans would use nearly their body weight in ATP each day. So, ingana ka-demanding ang ato ang ATP. Any questions about this diagram?
Ma'am, nakoy pa-clarify lang.
Mm.
So, ang hydrolysis mo na mo sud ang water, no?
Yes, yes.
Dayon after that, mo release dayon ang energy.
Yes, kaya matangtang naman tong terminal bond nga phosphate, katong bond phosphate to phosphate.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
then,
Sige.
na mahimo na ng diphosphate. Nya mo, kinahanglan man nato na i-replace mo ng mukaon na sadta. So para imuhang ma-recharge ang imuhang diphosphate mo nang we need to eat na sad. Okay? But the good thing is the good thing of our body is we always have reserve energy, no? Thanks to kung pananglitan nag-cheat day ka and then nagsubra imong kaon ana and then daghan kag excess nga glucose nga wala nagamit sa imuhang cells, it will be converted into glycogen. Okay? Also, if kanang lipids, kanang fatty food, no? Kung naay sobra sad, kay imuha man ang store sad sa imuhang cells, no? Muna imuhang mga reserve. So pananglitan mag-fasting ka or you'll be stranded walay food for how many days. Ang katong store nimo nga glucose mahuman naman to magamit nimo dayon. Ang katong glycogen na sa sunod and sunod na sad is ang katong lipids sa ang imuhang kwaon sa imong lawas as the stored energy. So mo na kinahanglan gyud ta mukaon, mo na it makes sense nga mulas ka og pila ka days para before ka mamatay kung wa jud kay kaon, mulas ka og pila ka days kay nganuman ang daghan man tag mechanism of storing energy no sa ato ang glucose may mong glycogen and also the lipids, but the water itself is very critical nga kinahanglan 3 days ra ka maka-live without water kay kailangan man kay sa atong cellular respiration. So, tang sa may goal nga nang kinahanglan man ta mukaon, no? Kinahanglan jud ta mukaon every day. Kay mao man na, kinahanglan man nato i-replenish ang atong diphosphate para mahimong ATP and para makahimo ka og energy. Okay? So, balik ko sa chemical equation, ang glucose nato which is C6H12O6 na ay mole of oxygen. And then that will give you CO2, 6 CO2, 6 water, and energy. Remember this one. This is the main goal. Diba? Kung mukaon kag pamahaw, pila man ang kauras usa pa magamit sa imuhang small intestine. How many hours? If say for example, si kuan Ferrer nagkaon og pamahaw ganina, heavy gyud, no rice gyud iyang gikaon. Pila man ang kauras usa ma-absorb fully digested na ma-absorb sa small intestine? How many hours class you think so?
6 to 8 hours, ma'am.
6 hours. Okay, the average, no, normal meal. But depende man syud na hinuono sa imuhang meal. Kay kung light meal lang, actually high glycemic ang imuhang breakfast. Mas man ang high glycemic. Glycemic index, I did mention this already to Lianos, kay mo man inyuhang research, no? Glycemic is capacity nga dali kayo ma-dissolve or dali kayo ma-breakdown ang imuhang kuan. So, ma-breakdown ang imuhang food. So, pasabot-an na dali kay siya mahimo magamit into cellular respiration. So dali ra kay na mga 3 hours gutom mo na kabalik dayon. So awa ha, mukaon kay cake. Dali ra kay kagutom mo, di ba? If i-compare nimo nga ang imuhang snacks cake og versus katudjong pasta. Okay, nga imuhang gikaon. So sa pasta, it takes longer because the carbohydrates there in the pasta is not just monosaccharide, but it is a polysaccharide because it is a starch. But when you eat a cake, that is glucose monosaccharide. So monosaccharide na baya ni daan diri ang cellular respiration. So meaning dali siya ma-digest and kung magsige kag kaon og cake, madiabetic jud ka because grabe man ang surge of sugar content sa glucose. Gawas kung mukhang ka atong polysaccharide, meaning mas dugay ma-digest, dili ka mag-prone to diabetes. Kagets mo class sa role po sa chemical structure sa carbohydrates. So, before we end, this is the end slide. Pasabot ani class is that in the cellular respiration, it is not just the glucose that is being processed. All the biological molecules that you are eating, example, the carbs, the fats, the protein, no, mo na cellular respiration na siya. For the sake of understanding the process, the scientists use the glucose. No, but there is an explanation of using the chemical structure of fat, of protein. But for our lesson, we are using glucose for cellular respiration. Okay? Dili pasabot nga ang protein wala gi cellular respiration. Cellular respiration gyapon na. Ang fat, katong mga baboy, katong mga lipids nga atong nakaon, cellular respiration gyapon na. For the sake of understanding again, it uses carbohydrates for understanding the process. All right? Gets? Question. Kasabot ra class? Okay. Wala na, nangawag ka ng mga tao. Okay. Right. Why nga nang important din ato ato aning i-understand kaning basic because mas makasabot ta later sa stages if we have to understand this first. The same thing sa katong introduction nato sa energy transformation. Ha? Clinic? Okay. Now, let's go to our self-assessment. Let us find out if we really understand our topic, okay? I have here this in the Moodle, now self-assessment about the ATP. I want you to answer this for 10 minutes, okay? And then screenshot, send to our chat, okay? To my chat, direct message me to the chat, okay? Because this will be my gauge if you really understand our topic. And this is very easy because you just need to choose. No, you can by 11:50. Can we meet again? 6 minutes na lang din mga 11:53. Okay, answer this one. Go to your Moodle and answer this and screenshot. And we will discuss the answer before dismissing. Okay? Clinic? Can you see this now in the Moodle?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, good. Start answering now. And if you have questions about the process, then we will entertain the questions after answering na sa tanan and mag-submit. We will discuss the answers on this one. Okay? Disregard kaning number 5 class, kaning part, wala ni siya labot, kanira din. Oh, this release an ATP turns into